Never, never, never die. Never die. Never die. Never die.
Fuck you. All right, it is 9:03 in the morning, and before I get into today's podcast, I want to thank Blackstone Labs for sponsoring this podcast. And you can get 20% off your entire order at blackstonelabs.com. That is 20% off your entire order. Look, if you're trying to get jacked, shredded, you want to look good, you want to feel good, you just want to get that dream body you want. Well, guess what? Blackstone Labs can help you. And you can get 20% off your entire order there. Just go blackstonelabs.com, B2the4thpower at checkout, and get 20% off. You can get pre-workouts, branched-chain amino acids, protein, thermogenics, whatever it is you need to achieve your goal in the gym, Blackstone Labs has it for you. And I also like to thank C&H Concrete, serving the San Francisco Bay Area. That is C&H Concrete. No job too big, no job too small, commercial, residential, it does not matter. C&H Concrete, serving the San Francisco Bay Area. All their information in the notes in the bottom. And now that that's out of the way, I want to introduce you a man that's just developed a program, just put something out, something that I preach, something that I talk about, something that I want people to understand. It takes a certain level of mental toughness in this world, and this is Arlen, and he's got a program that I think and I believe that could help you. Arlen, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me. So I'm a mindset coach. I've been a mindset coach for 16 years, worked with adults, moved into children for 8 years, went back to adults, and now I'm working specifically with men. It's an interesting thing what I've done. I've been running this program on 101. So all my 101 clients know this process. Then I moved into running and developing first a program that could be online. Ran that for a year, and the results are absolutely outstanding. So just launched online, very excited about that. And I can't say, like when you said, what you're all about with mental fortitude and all that, exactly, that's it. My whole process started as a personal trainer. That was maybe, 17, 18 years ago, and I was working with just the body. And I quickly realized, I was like, this isn't the foundation. This isn't the bottom line. The bottom line is the mind. And that's when I moved straight into the mind. And I almost just pushed the body to the side. Although I weight train, I do all these things, and I've been consistent. I've been an athlete my whole life, even to this day. I'm a mountaineer. But it's really about the mind first and foremost. Because, you might be able to agree, man. There's a lot of people out there who've been hitting the gym for decades, but they're still insecure. They're still, self-sabotaging. There are all these different things because they haven't discovered the importance of the mind and how that is really the bottom line, right?
Yeah, so, very true. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people, when like you said, until you discover your thought process, especially your way, and two, no one teaches that to a child. No one teaches that. Even when you grow up, like I said, I didn't grow up with a father. Most fathers, friends that I had that grew up with father, it's never taught to have this mental strength and mental attitude towards life to reinforce it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're blessed with it. Sometimes it takes a tragic accident or a tragic scenario to either unlock it or make it worse. And when I was going through your program, it's really emphasizing you, making sure that you understand that it takes you to do this.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Self-awareness, self-awakening. Some people have, like you said, spiritual crisis that really kind of gets them to that tipping point, right? And a lot of times the kind of commitment that it takes to recondition the mind, you have to go through that crisis. That's usually the case. You have to be done with wherever your life is at in order to step in. Because people ask me all the time, they're like, what does it take to recondition the mind? Well, it's not these easy steps that a lot of our industry likes to say, like, oh, just 5 minutes a day, or life hacking. I can't stand the word life hacking. There's no such
I agree with that statement.
It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of commitment, right?
Yeah.
And that's a certain kind of focus, and something that I call primal focus, which is in the program. It says primal up there. And you have to have primal focus, because the same amount of focus that comes from your life being on the line, being chased by a bear in the woods, is the exact amount of focus you have to apply to self-development. That's when the gains are made, right?
Exactly.
So it's a whole new level and understanding. And I think that, we're finally getting to the point in this world where we have a lot of understanding of how the mind works, but we don't have a lot of processes out there that are substantial. And this one, again, Alpha, it's called Alpha, which I'm not even too sure I've even mentioned that yet, but it's Alpha by Prodigy Mindset Gym.
Yeah.
And Alpha is very unique in the sense that you think, okay, with a guy's program, this might be the alpha male, but it's actually not. It's the alpha brainwave. So that's what we need to tap into.
Okay.
And that's what people are tapping into with yoga. They're tapping into with meditation.
Yeah.
With meditation is something I've taught for 16 years. I've moved out of meditation for the most part. I view it as medicine. I take it when I need it, right? I'm not doing this every day, but what I'm doing is I'm utilizing what I have, which is the alpha program in my day-to-day life. And that sustains my life the same way meditation might for other people. And I think this is going to be very relatable for men because there's not a lot of guys out there, as you would agree, who's going to sit every morning or every afternoon at lunchtime and then the evening to meditate. Because if you're meditating for 5 minutes, for 3 times a day, that's 15 minutes. What's the rest of the day like, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So my program is built off of self-talk, which is obviously used and capitalized with pro athletes.
Yeah.
And so I've taken that. I've taken Buddhism. I've taken spirituality. I've taken all the elements that help from, say, meditation, and I put it into this tight package that men are going to relate to because it's all really sports-related content.
Yeah, no. As I was going through it, you can clearly see, you know what I'm saying, because it's not just based on, like I said, mental fortitude, but you have to have the physical basis to be able to have this mental fortitude, and it's one of those things that a lot of people and a lot of men lose track of because, once you fall into this track of, I'm a father or, I'm not doing well in life, you just let yourself go. And as you let yourself go, your mind starts to go.
Yes.
And people don't understand, like, it's good to have this killer, great, I'm on point, focused mindset. But if you're not taking care of your physical part, it's not going to be able to keep up. And then one or the other is going to give.
Yeah, it's all a unit. It's all definitely a unit. And, it's interesting. I've always thought about it, too, for myself, because, I have these windows, these dips up and down, whether sometimes it's an injury, a shoulder injury or something, and I'm not able to train properly in the gym because of it. And so for me, that's some sort of a dip, I would call it. But that type of thing, man, when I go down physically, still, it's going to affect the quality of my mindset.
Yeah.
So it has to be hand in hand, if that's what you're saying. Yeah. But I can tell you, those who are trying to start out with just the physical aspect and not working on the mental aspect, you're just going to be going around in a circle.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to find those windows where all of a sudden you have a crash pattern, as I call it. And most people aren't self-aware enough to see their crash patterns. They don't realize it was that one cookie to the next, whatever bad thing you took in. And then the next thing, all of a sudden you're feeling bad. You don't even know why you're feeling bad because you weren't conscious of the choices you were making that led you, astray. So it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting synergy that you have to align when it comes to the physical and mental. But for me personally, especially as somebody who had a very negative mindset growing up, a terrible mindset, it paralyzed me. There's times where I would sleep 3-4 days in a row and I couldn't do anything about it. Yet I was muscular. I was an athlete, but I couldn't get out of bed to go and train. And then all of a sudden there was a setback in the gym just because of my mental attitude. Yeah. So what about you, man? What's going on? What's your mental regimen like? What do you do?
Well, my mental regimen right off top, every morning before I get up, I make sure I look in the mirror.
Okay.
I make sure I remind myself that I am me.
Okay.
And then after I remind myself who I am, I make sure that I let life in this world know that I'm ready to step out my door and handle this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the things is, like I said, growing up, like I said, I didn't have any father figures really. I had my uncles that, they taught me they showed me how to work. They showed me how to fish. They showed me how to do all kinds of things. But the thing is I was basically on the streets, running the streets, living that kind of life.
Nice.
And, it just, after a while, I didn't know what to do, feeling lost, had kids. And then, I literally lost everything in my life twice, 2 divorces, not seeing the kids. And then eventually it just got to the point where I had this trigger in my head where I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
And then once I had this trigger in my head of what the fuck am I doing, I remind myself what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Chasing dreams, making goals happen,
That's good.
And I speak on it all the time because the reason I'm chasing my dreams and making goals happen is because I realized I wasn't happy. And happiness is my success. That's why I always say on this podcast, happiness is my success. So I will do anything to be successful, to make sure that my kids understand that success is money. It isn't fame. It's being happy. It's being able to wake up and enjoy your day. And that's more important to me than anything else, because if I'm not happy, how are you happy? And if I can't take care of my happiness, how can I take care of the happiness of the others that I love?
That's right.
You
And
know,
that's not the focus of the world we live in today.
yeah,
Right
it's
there.
not. You know
It's
what I'm saying?
definitely not.
That's the focus I grew up knowing. You know what I'm saying? Watching TV, seeing this, seeing that, and I'm like,
Hmm.
and I gotta have it all. I ain't gotta have shit. All I gotta do is make sure that I'm happy. I'm doing what I love, and I'm doing what I love now. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
happened to stumble upon this, and all of a sudden, you know, things lined up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
obtaining that mindset right there of just realizing that it's the moment to moment happiness. It's the fact that you're healthy and you can do whatever it is that you need to do, right? Things
exactly.
like that. The small qualities of life are overlooked because we are bombarded with all of this idea of success. And
Yep.
as I say too, as well, I say our emotional success is our greatest success. It
Yep.
really is in this lifetime. And once we can get there, we're going to evolve as a world. But right now, we're so far behind, man. We're
Oh
so
yeah.
distracted.
You know, and then
It,
seeing this program that you're putting out, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's one of those steps forward for somebody that doesn't understand it, doesn't get it. Something they can read, you know, get this program that you offer and
mhm.
be able to be like, you know, find that trigger, find that ability, find that focus where they
Yeah,
can line themselves up with their life a lot better than what, you know, whether it's to be more successful or to start the path of success. You know what I'm saying? Because as I was reading your program and as I was going through everything, I was like, look, this can help a lot of people. But the
yeah,
thing is people got to want to help themselves. You know what I'm saying? You got to take that first
absolutely.
step.
Absolutely. It's incredibly difficult, man. It's incredibly difficult to help somebody who's just not ready.
Yeah.
It's so tough because it takes a lot to recondition yourself, to
Yeah.
recondition your mindset, your subconscious, all these things. So you really have to be ready to commit. And it's interesting, man. I always find myself, I'm like, how do I get to that level, that bottom
Yeah.
line of helping somebody who's not ready? Where's the trick in that?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm constantly trying to develop these days because I can help somebody who's ready.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I do it all the
Yeah.
time. I've done it for years. But somebody who's not, how do I get to them? And I think that's probably, everybody who's in the industry who's trying to help people self-development, whatever it may be on mental or physical level. It's like, how do
Yeah.
I get that person who's not ready
Yeah.
to commit and just grab a
Yeah.
hold of it and run with it? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's definitely a passion of mine and something when I have time, of course,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of pondering all the time. What's that next step, that next level of really changing people who aren't
Oh
ready?
yeah. You know, it's always about reaching and touching people and getting you know, like I get quite a few emails, quite a few messages just on the podcast I do right here because you know, it's sometimes people just need a kick in the ass and
Yeah,
need a point, someone to point in the right direction. You know,
yeah,
and that's what this program is. It's a point in the right direction. It's like it's
100%.
understanding yourself and it's understanding who you could be and who you
Yeah,
want to be. Because it's also it's something that I believe in. I was like, look, you need to figure out which way you're going because forward is always the direction you want to go. You can stop and pause in life, but to continue going forward is all you need to do. You know
yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying?
right there. That's exactly it, and that's what the program stands for. I've had people who I've sat down with on private coaching, and they think that they're there to tell me what's going on in their life,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, stop right there. I don't care what's going on in your life. What I care about is getting you heading in the right direction,
Exactly.
right? And that's it. It's like you can't be going backwards, and that's what this program Alpha is all about. It's about how do you drive your thoughts forward. We have 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. Now,
Yeah.
scientists say that 5% is using consciousness of the population. Well, 5%, how much of that is the 50 to 70,000 thoughts we have a day?
Yeah.
It's not under our control, really, right?
Yeah.
But if we get into the habit of fueling our thought, fueling our self talk, fueling our thought towards reconditioning our subconscious, that's when we can make a dent in the system. And if you're doing that, you're not looking back.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about where you came from. You're not
Yeah.
thinking about what happened yesterday. You're constantly thinking about in the moment, the
Yep.
future, and the quality between point A and point B getting there, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. See, I always make the reference of a car. You know what I'm saying? Cars always drive forward.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the thing is when you're driving in a car, there's enough room for everybody. But the thing is people can get in and out as you go. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
understanding that you're going to your direction. Regardless, if you don't know where you're going, you're still going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's that nonstop.
Yeah.
And
And
you know,
don't-
like I said, it's just it's something that like I said, I wish I could just make sure I can grab the world to be like, look, listen up, you got this. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah. And go back to that car thing. It's, what you do in the morning, you're talking about the mirror. I always refer to this, especially when I was a personal trainer years ago. I would talk about warming up the body in the morning, right? So if you really want to get the body going, burning calories, things like that, you got to think of it as a car. You've got a car out in the Midwest and
Yeah.
it's cold. You got to warm that sucker up. You're not going to just get in there and drive off, right?
Exactly.
So it's the same thing with what you're doing in the mirror, and what the program Alpha, gets the participants doing is that in the morning, the first thing, you have to own your first thought. You have to own your first thought, and that takes consciousness, awareness, self-awareness, whatever it is you want to label it as. But when you can own your first thought, and from there out, fuel the thoughts beyond that, like somebody sits in meditation for 15 minutes to really get that buzzing feeling, you got to do the same thing with that internal dialogue.
Yes.
And when you can do that over an extended period of time, now you've owned your morning. You've owned the moment, right? And that's exactly what you described to you. And also it's with a car. You got to warm that sucker up. You got to warm your body up. You got to warm your mind up. It's a new day, renewal of the mind each and every morning.
Yes.
Yeah. In the program, as in the Bible, it's like, one of my favorite verses in there, and it's also in the program. It's like, don't be conformed to this world, but be renewed by the mind, right? And that's paraphrasing it. But you can't really sit in your day to day or in the next day thinking about yesterday. You have to think about it today. I have to warm myself up. I have to get back in the gym. I have to get physical again. And you got to do the same thing with the mind, over and over and over again. And that's why we're going to see a lot of gyms popping up, cognitive gyms for the mind.
Yeah,
it's that time. It's 2020, man. Right? This is the future. Yeah. So, and it's as long as everybody jumps on board, especially men. Men need this, man. Men need this the most because we're being attacked, definitely, with so many different things. I don't necessarily need to go into all the different things, such as, will, because we've been on the Me Too movement forever, right? Or not forever, but it's been a while. And that thing, I mean, it's unfortunate, and for the victims, it's really unfortunate, but it's also unfortunate that we're having to walk with our tail between our legs.
Yeah.
We can't be the men that we used to be, that some good men were. And we need to find those good men and the qualities that, embody that and allow that to come back without us trying to skirt around a bunch of
things. It's understandable because that's exactly what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all of a sudden men can't be men and we can't be ourselves and we got to pay attention. And that's the thing though too, it just comes with the time, I always like to think of things coming in as fads. It's fad at the moment and eventually it'll go right back to where it needs to be at, and the world will be semi-realigned.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. So, the more conscious we become, self-aware, learn how to condition our minds each and every morning, then we can make better choices and we can represent the men that the world need.
And then that's exactly it. Like I said, that's, you're putting your program right out there. And, like I said, and for all my listeners and everyone paying attention, check this out. If you're looking for that point in that direction, that new start, that new beginning, or just another plane of thought that you feel could help you, this is what you're looking at. Let people know where they can find you and all your information. And then also, too, I'll make sure I put it in the notes, so make sure that everyone can, be able to click the link.
Absolutely, yeah. So prodigymindset.com. And that is the gym. We've got the blog on there. Blog goes over to arlenj.com, which is my personal website, and it's really just meant to be a blog. And that's pretty much it. From there, you can find all my social media handles. Of course, it'll be on there. And I'm excited because, like I said, this has been running offline for a year with incredible results.
Yeah.
With PTSD, addiction, just self-confidence, just getting a little off track, get back on track. Not only that, but it has helped people gain financially big time.
Yes.
People have gone from local in their businesses to national in the program. People have written books on the program that didn't even intend to write a book. So I can't even tell you. One of the interesting things, too, is there was a guy who was, obviously trying to have a child with his wife. They're trying to conceive, I think, for about 2.5 years on the program conceived.
Nice.
So there's a lot of really incredible things that are happening.
Oh, yeah.
It gets you aligned, the alpha brainwave, man. That's where we all need to be and need to sustain all day long.
Exactly. All right. And on that note, this is the Angry Dad Podcast. This is Arlen. Make sure you go support it. Make sure you go follow him. I'm going to put all information in the bottom. And if you want to watch the shit, IGTV, YouTube. If you want to listen to shit, Spreaker, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, SoundCloud, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Altales, Podchaser. This motherfucker's everywhere. Easily fucking found. Also, too, make sure you go check out my sponsors, blackstonelabs.com, 20% off, C&H Concrete, nothing too big, nothing too small. They'll take care of everything. Residential, commercial, doesn't fucking matter. Also, too, make sure you rate, review, like, subscribe. It helps me the fuck out and all that fucking bullshit. Also, too, I'll see y'all motherfuckers on the next one. Fuck.
Never die. Always living. Always living. Always living. Always living.